The most important thing, and this might seem as commonsensical, but in my experience it is not, is to have a viable topic, and one that you have been able to discuss with at least a prospective supervisor beforehand. And it is amazing the number of people who still contact institutions and express an interest in doing PhDs without really having a very basic topic to start with. So these are people who are expecting to go into a PhD program following the suggestion of a scholar who they don't personally know. So this is something that has probably something to do with the marketization of postgraduate studies in general, but it really doesn't look good if you don't have a strong, sound, viable proposal to begin with. Proposal in terms of topic, not research proposal that I'll talk about in a second. It is very important also to do some research about different departments and prospective supervisors. You have to aim at a good fit in terms of your research interests, your personal ones and those of the institution you're applying to. And then what you basically have to do is contact the admissions person at the different universities that you're interested in. You need to find out whether they have any sort of document with guidelines on how to structure your research proposal and the sort of things that they would like you to show in that document that you'll be sending them. So typically you'll be asked to outline the research context and the rationale for your project. So you'll have to explain why your project is necessary, why it is interesting, exciting, and so on. You'll have to be able to articulate what your topic is, what your intended topic is. You'll have to show some awareness of theoretical concepts and or frameworks that would help you guide your research. Indeed, you would need a preliminary set of research questions. You would also have to include some considerations on methodology, and you would typically finish with an outline of the sort of steps, schedule of steps that you would follow throughout the 3-year period. So there's nothing wrong with sending a draft and trying to elicit views on that, initial views that then can provide you with feedback to revise that proposal. But the most important thing is that this is done long in advance of whatever deadline the institution you're interested in has as the submission deadline for your application, both to the program and I think in these days it's inevitable, for funding. So if you are doing all these very close to the deadline for applications for funding, which typically require that you have already a place in the program, you'll find that there's really no time to go through the different steps, to have somebody assessing your proposal and commenting on it, and then for you to benefit from that feedback and take it on board and incorporate it in your revised version of the proposal. Nobody's expecting the proposal to be perfect, because otherwise there wouldn't be any point in doing the PhD itself. But it is important that a prospective PhD student shows sufficient caliber in terms of familiarity with theoretical frameworks, sort of things I mentioned, because that is what will eventually make the department decide that it is worth making an offer to that person.